All right, everybody, live at Chance's house, season 1. Welcome,
Hello,
everyone. Hey, Ryan, we got my good friend, brother from another mother, bandmate for life, member of Acoustic Karma, member of Bad Karma, member of Delta Rage. This is my friend, Ryan Cassidy. Ryan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Chance. How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing great. This is I'm glad that we finally got to get a chance to talk and get together. So,
Me too. Thank you for having me on your show. That's awesome.
yeah, absolutely. So, listen, one of the things that has come about all of this stuff isn't just the fact that I'm doing interviews with people, but it's also been an opportunity for me. I've actually learned a lot about people that I actually know. I mean, there's sometimes you start a conversation, you may not know something about somebody that, just because you may have known someone for years doesn't mean you know everything. And there's actually been a lot of stuff that's come to life. One of the things that I was thinking about, kind of getting into this interview a little bit is, how exactly did you get started? And oh, by the way, for our audience, Ryan is a killer guitarist. So this is the guy that, I want to learn how to play like, and he would laugh that off and go, no, whatever, but,
you're too kind.
But Ryan is a lead guitarist and has been, and we've been playing together for, well over, gosh, at this point, it's probably 11 years, I think.
Yeah.
And, but he's been playing for a long time, and, he's originally from New York, Jefferson Station.
Jefferson Station, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
He's originally from Jefferson Station, New York, and he got down here to Texas at some point. So, Ryan, how did you get started? Like the whole guitar thing. When did you get the bug? And tell me a little bit about how you kind of got started.
Well, I started when I was like 13. Started getting into guitar and getting interested in playing guitar. But I've always liked music. I had done karate from 10 till 13. So I joined karate when I joined karate when the Karate Kid came out. Everybody joined. So that's what I did for about 3 years. And then my sister started dating Steve, who she's married to now for over 20 years. And he played guitar. So Steve had an electric guitar, which when you're 13 years old, that's the coolest thing ever. It's just to see one and hold one. And just that fact that he had one was so cool. So I was hooked. Just being able to play his and watch him play with his band and stuff like that. Just started getting into all different kinds of music, started playing guitar. So, so I attribute it to him, really. He got me into playing music, really. And then I found it was just something I really loved. And, I'm still doing it. I'll always do it.
Did you take lessons?
I took some brief lessons. It's funny that I tell everybody I learned more from watching Stevie Ray Vaughan videos than I did any lesson that I ever took, really. Because, these videos are amazing. They'll show his hands right up on the neck and see what he's doing. And I'll talk about Stevie more in a second. But, I took classical lessons, surprisingly, for a year. Straight up reading music, classical lessons. And I appreciated that, but I definitely, after a while, the guy that taught me was great, After a while, I just realized reading music was just like math to me, and I didn't really, it was like homework trying to do it that way. I wanted to rock out. Everybody, I was into Aerosmith, I was into rock bands, arena rock stuff. So, I can't turn up my acoustic classical guitar and play loud, so that.
This one goes to 11.
Yeah, my Fender amp I played actually goes to 12. Actually, every knob goes to 12. It's one too louder. So, Yeah, so I took the classical lessons, and I was just like, man, I want to rock out, and I stopped doing that, and I took a couple other lessons from some guy at his house, and he just showed me some chords and things like that, and that was about it, really. Mostly just from watching people play, and just diving into it. I did actually take a week at the I think it's called the National Guitar Summer Workshop in Connecticut. It was a week-long summer guitar workshop with lots of kids. I was 14 at the time, I guess, and it was a week-long camp. Stay over thing. We stayed in dorms, and everybody played guitar. It was a few hundred kids. We all just played guitar, and we had classes throughout the day, like at school. And each class was something different. It was such a great experience. One class was fretboard knowledge, and the other one was songwriting, and another one was something else. And then, the last class was the band working up a song to play at the end of the week, for our big show at the end of the week. So we would work on one song, probably 10 guitar players, and we worked up Hey Joe.
Cool.
And so we did that. I learned a lot from that camp. It's a funny story with that is I had to leave before everybody else. I had driver's ed. So I guess I was about 15 at the time. 16 at the time. So I had driver's ed the next day. So my dad picked me up he went to the concert we did that night. Everybody else was leaving the following day. He went to the concert, our big show at the end of the week, and picked me up. So I was leaving right after we're done playing our song. Everybody else left the next day. So I had this thought at that time, like, I'm just going to go crazy on my solo, and I didn't really know quite what I was doing at that time. I knew a little bit about scales, but I'm going to just give it all I got and just, go, balls out on this solo, in front of, 500 guitar players, and that was a huge turning point for me in performance, learning, because man, and I have a tape of it somewhere. My solo came up, and it's just wild. I'm not even playing really the right notes, but you can hear the attitude and hear the passion, and I knew I was leaving. So if it was bad reviews, I'm out of there. So
didn't matter.
People at the end of the rest of my life. So, but to my surprise, I did my solo, and you can hear it on the audio of it. Huge applause, and nobody else was really getting applauses. They're all guitar players, so they're all sizing each other up, and so even on my way out, lots of guitar players just came up to me, great solo, great solo, great solo. And I'm thinking, man, that solo sucked, but I acted like it was great, you know? And the light just went off. I was like, man, I can do this, man. If I just act like I know what I'm doing, eventually I'll learn, and over the years I've learned. Like, I know what I'm doing now. But, that was a big turning point, just kind of, and I attribute that to a lot of things in life. If you act and sort of pretend like you know what you're doing, most people will, think you're doing the right thing.
What the hell do you think that I'm doing? I've been acting like I've been an interviewer, and I act like I play guitar. I act like I sing. I mean, come on, man. I've been doing this for years.
Yeah, you throw yourself into it, and this is what I'm doing. So, but that's a funny story, because I mean, it was a auditorium full of guitar players, and I got so much kudos for my crappy solo. It was just so weird for me, But since then, after that, I came to Texas, moved here. Before I actually moved here, I would visit. So I would visit Chance, my sister, and brother-in-law, and they moved here a few years prior. And one of my visits here, I got a Stevie Ray Vaughan CD, and that just blew me away. And I wore that thing out, and the fact that he, introduces a lot of older, blues players that he emulates or he loves or is influenced by, it gave me opened me up to the world of the blues, and I developed a big love for it. Around that time, some kid in school gave me a Stevie Ray Vaughan Live in Tokyo video VHS tape. And I popped that thing in and was just glued to it. And I just never seen anything like it. I would, just looking at his face, I was like, that man, he feels those notes, every note deeply, is coming from somewhere in his soul, his gut, and I was like, I want to learn how to do that. I want to figure out how he's playing that way, where that's coming from. So I just learned my scales and watched that video I still have it. I wore that thing out. And, since then, just, start jamming with people. And, I think that's another way you grow is just by playing, getting out of your bedroom, which we're all stuck in right now, but just getting out and playing with other people, you feed off other people. And I got to play with a lot of players around that time that were quite a bit older than me. At the time, I was 16 or whatever, and guys I was jamming with were in their late 20s or 30s, and they would just let me jam. They would just let me wail, and I learned a lot from that. Just playing solos and putting myself in as many situations as I could where I could just play, So.
How many? What was the first band you were ever in? What was it called?
First band I was in was with my buddy Eric, my best friend Eric, who we just recently lost. He sang in a band, and I played guitar. We didn't have a bass player quite at the first time, and I remember at the time I didn't really care. I was just, a bass player, whatever. We had a drummer.
Doors didn't have a bass player either.
I know, it was just me, guitar, drums. We called ourselves Overdrive, and we wrote some songs and played. I don't think we played anywhere, but that was my first band.
Cool.
With some pretty terrible songs back then. Thinking back from them, but it was great. We had lots of fun. And then from there, we formed Axis, and we actually got a bass player, Eddie Poorboy, and Fred Martinez was the drummer. And we just started playing gigs, some of our own songs and some covers and stuff that we liked. That was my first band. So I was pretty much playing in bars, playing gigs when I was still in high school, 16 or whatever. So started young, man.
Yeah. What was the first guitar what was the first guitar let's see. Were you given your first guitar, or did you save up to buy your first guitar?
My first guitar was an acoustic guitar I had long before I even started playing guitar, I think. I used to call them old fogey guitars because I didn't know it was called an acoustic guitar. So that's just what I thought they were. And I don't even know the name of that. But my first electric guitar was a Harmony electric guitar that we ordered from the Sears catalog. And loved it. It was great. So I played that for a while. I painted it myself because I didn't like it had a beige color. That's the only color it came in. So I painted it black.
Nice.
Yeah.
First guitar I ever bought was an acoustic guitar. And actually, I didn't buy it. My dad did. I think I've told this story before, so some people will know when I say this. But so you mentioned the Sears catalog, but the place that I got mine at was a place that used to be around a retail spot called Service Merchandise.
Mm.
And, it was sort of like it was a weird warehouse. Like everything was a showroom. Like you could look at it, but there wasn't any stock, and they had all the stock like in the back, and like you order it and it would like come down this conveyor belt thing.
Yeah.
And
so you couldn't touch everything.
Yeah. The first guitar I ever got was a Yamaha, Eterna, I believe was what it was called. And it was just no pickups, just a regular guitar. And It's dead on the 12th fret. But
yeah, I know mine was too.
I still have that guitar. I still love that guitar, and I played it live for years. I just mic'd it, and it wasn't until years later I was like, oh, you can get one you can plug in. That's awesome. But my dad had made me a deal because he said, look, I'll buy you a guitar if you really want to learn how to play, but I'm not going to buy you a good one. And he said, he told me, he said, well, if you ever if you stick with it, one of these days, and if you're still doing it, one of these days I'll get you a good one. And I completely forgot about that, promise of him getting me another guitar. I just loved doing it, and it didn't really matter whether I was going to get another guitar or not. I played all the time. I played every day. And, people still ask me to this day, it's like, well, how did you learn? I was like, first of all, I'm not that great. I didn't learn scales. I wanted to play and write music immediately. So I learned chords. I learned as many chords as I could, and I learned how to shift chords quickly. Yeah. But I probably played an hour minimum a day for like 2 years just to be comfortable to switch between D, G, and A, and finally got it down pretty well, and I screwed things up. Hell, I still screw things up. But when I graduated from college, I had no idea I was going to do it. I was already living here, as a matter of fact, and the guitar because you played it. But when I graduated from college, my dad got me that Eric Clapton custom Fender Stratocaster.
Yes, I have played that guitar. It's awesome.
And it was so I keep it inside its case and wipe it down with a diaper. I never play it. I did play it for a short time before you ever joined Bad Karma. I was not the lead singer of Bad Karma. I was actually the rhythm guitarist for Bad Karma, and I sang like 3 songs, and because there was a lead singer. And I was not the way I got started in that band was that I was doing karaoke, and I was playing a gig. I was doing a gig. And I got up to sing. I can even tell you, I tell this story before. I was singing. I think I was singing a Creed song. I think I might have thought it was Cumbersome, but it was one of the two. It was either Cumbersome or I was singing a Creed song. I might have been singing higher. Anyway, this guy came in and he said, "Hey, you played a band?" I'm like, "No, I'm a karaoke host and I DJ occasionally and I do weddings and stuff." He's like, well, listen, I got this band and their lead singer is out. He's got vocal nodules. He's going to have surgery. He's going to be out for like 6 weeks. We've got gigs booked up from like now until then, like 2 every weekend. We've got like 15 gigs to cover. Are you interested in joining a band? And I'm like, sure. I've never thought about it. I played before. I was playing with another guy as an acoustic duet. So I kind of felt like I was in the band already, but I'd never played with a group of guys. Anyway, so I got a phone call from Roger. And Roger, our good friend Roger DeWater, called me up and said, hey, so this guy said that you can sing. Hey, can you meet me over at my house tomorrow? And maybe I can start showing you some stuff. I'm like, okay. Anyway, I had to learn like 60 songs in like 3 days.
Wow.
And I learned, maybe 10 of them how to play guitar because I had to play rhythm for him as well. And then, or he wanted me to because they didn't have a second guitarist anyway. And then I had to go through and learn all the songs, and he was showing me, and I was learning the guitar parts and I was learning how to sing them. And luckily I knew like most of them, just from being in a DJ and karaoke and whatever. So I could sing just about everything. Anyway, that's how that got started. Well, after that 6 weeks passed, the lead singer came back. The lead singer was a guy named Paul Spears, and he was the original singer for Bad Karma. Actually, he wasn't even the original singer for Bad Karma. There was actually a female that played with Roger, and her name was Connie Crow, and she played originally, and they were kind of like a rockin' sort of blues southern rock band at first. And then they did the whole thing with the group and everyone, and then I came in, and then I became the 5th member of the band, but our name was Strange Brew. And we flipped it. And then when those guys left, we kept the drummer. It was me, Roger. And then that's when we called Mike. Drummer left. we brought Terry in. We used the name Bad Karma, and then the rest was kind of history. But yeah, I was a 5-piece for a while.
Huh, interesting. That's interesting. Well, you're a great guitar player, man. Don't sell yourself short on that. Not to mention an amazing singer.
I've got some blooper reels that I keep throwing up on the live at Chance's house on Thursdays. And I don't know. I don't know how much it is that I'm a good guitar player. Hell, sometimes I screw up my own songs that I've written.
Well, hey, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes, man.
I did say that the other day on the show, though. I was like, hey, I got a new song. Yeah, if I screw it up, you guys aren't going to know the difference anyway because you've never heard it before.
Exactly. Yeah, I meant to do that. It's jazz, right? That's my jazzy part of the song.
Check out this chord.
Yeah. You'll never be able to figure out this chord. I made it up myself.
Well, so you got down to Texas, and so if you were, let's see, I'm trying to get the timeline here. You were 16 in New York. When did you move down here?
So I played in Axis for 5 years or so. We played New York, Long Island, some gigs in the city. So I didn't move here until I was 21.
Okay.
It was 96. And,
okay. Well, you moved here like right after I did. I mean, I got here in 95, so we've been here about the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And neither of us really have a Texas accent. What's up with
that? No.
Do people say that to you all the time? Because people say that to me all the time.
Actually, when I leave here, people tell me I have a Texas accent. I don't know how it's possible. I didn't even grow up here. I grew up in El Paso, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't hear
it. I don't either.
I try not to have any accent. If I, wherever you go.
So you played with Axis for a while, and you did that, and then so what was after that? What was kind of the timeline of the next thing you did? Because I know you've been playing in Delta Rage for a while. How long has that been? Or was there a band before Delta Rage?
Not really. I immediately when I got here, I had to play, so I was missing my band, and I had to leave New York, and got together with drummer Rodney Campbell and Larry Green at the time, who I hooked up with. I think we were called Steamy Windows for about 6 months.
Steamy Windows with Melrose Larry Green.
Yes. So we did our thing for a little bit, probably maybe 8 months or so, and then I met Jay Harris, the Boogie Man. Steamy Windows had dissolved, so I got which is eventually Delta Rage, but it started off as Third Degree at the time, and started playing, and gosh, I've been playing with Boogie Man for over 20 years too. So he answered one of my ads and just blew me away, with his singing and bass playing and everything, and we've just been great friends ever since.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so we went through a few different drummers, and eventually started playing with Jeff Duggar for many years. Don Johnson, Jeff Duggar again, and we're still together, and actually just hooked up with an amazing new drummer. His name is Brent Davis, not to be confused with our good friend Brent Davis, who is awesome himself. But this is Brent, and he's an amazing drummer. Just found him a couple months ago, and he's just so cool and just a great guy and a very talented drummer. So currently just getting him kind of used to the songs that we're doing and used to the originals that we've written already. And, I'm working on some new stuff, anxious to play some of these new songs and work up new songs with them. So, and with you as well.
Yeah, we've got some stuff that we're going to be working on. I've actually talked about that with with everyone on the show too. But I am curious. So where can we find it? Because I've seen Delta Rage live, of course, so I know a few of the songs that you guys have played. Plus, also, just whenever we'd be playing in Bad Karma if Boogie Man would show up or Duggar would show up. Hell, Jeff played in Bad Karma for a few shows, and
Yep.
Jay's gotten up and played. I mean, it's kind of like the two bands they've got history together. But as far as the original music's concerned, I mean, where can we find it? Can I plug it? What do we got going on? Where do you have it right now so I can put it out there? Because we're going to play a preview of that here after the segment.
Sure, perfect. Our stuff is right now on Reverb Nation, and we have some things on Facebook as well. Our website, we did have a Delta Rage website. We just don't have that anymore. We have our stuff on Reverb Nation for the moment, so that's where we've got a ton of videos and some audio of some of our original songs. It's reverbnation.com/Delta Rage.
What's your favorite one?
Gosh, there's a song called Jail up there, which is really cool. It's got an improvised jam in it, which I kind of like putting in original music, which a lot of people don't really do, just a freeform jam in a song. So I like it for that, There's a bunch of good songs on there. Gravity, Nothing Left to Say, Loaded. So you can check out some of the music there and some videos as well.
All right. Well, we'll post that up on here as well so you guys can check it out in regards to Delta Rage and their original music. We've had an opportunity to talk to my good friend. Like I said, he's been one of my close friends for a very long time. And what's been really great is over the last few years, even though we haven't been playing as much together, we've actually gotten a lot closer, and it's been really cool. After Bad Karma kind of went on hiatus it's been about 3 years ago, I guess, we started doing a lot of acoustic shows. We called ourselves Acoustic Karma. That was really original. And but we actually started playing some songs we'd never played before, and then I personally have learned a lot from Ryan. For those that want to know too, as well, Ryan, I'm sure still can teach the occasional guitar lesson, because when I first met him, that's what he was doing. Yeah. And but we've grown together and done a lot of different things, acoustically, and tried to come up with some new ideas and new things. And so, we've been talking recently, and we're going to try and figure out what our next steps are. I've got a couple of songs that I've written that I've thrown Ryan's way, and, we may collaborate. It's a little bit harder to do right now just because of the whole pandemic situation, but it's really not. All it is, hey, I'm going to send you a file, throw this on, let's record it, let's see what happens. But I think there's new ideas and new blood that's coming through. So, I got a lot of irons in the fire right now, and Ryan is definitely one of those irons, and we're just trying to get it ironed out, so to speak. So
as well, man. I got big kudos to you too, man. I mean, I should be interviewing you. You got some amazing songs out there with a lot of attention, and rightly so, man. You got some amazing songs come out lately. I mean, going back to the timeline when Delta Rage took a hiatus, 10, 11 years ago, is when I met you, when I went and looked up an ad that was looking for a guitar player at the time, and I wanted to get out and play. So I was very happy to meet you, and I've definitely learned a lot from you as well. Just even vocally, when you're playing on stage with Chance, and you're over here playing guitar, and he's singing his freaking ass off. I mean, you're just kind of, it's amazing. I really learned so much from you. I mean, just with, projecting your voice and being confident and everything. And, I'm not quite there, but I do love you and admire you for what you do. And not to mention, we're all kind of doing stuff in our rooms now, but when we get out there, you see Chance is quite the performer too, and puts on a good show and is a great front man. So big kudos to you. Definitely learned a lot from you. Even being in Bad Karma, we played a lot of songs that I've always loved, but I never really played before. So I kind of like you. I think I learned 40 songs or something like that, like when I joined the group right away.
Yeah.
And a bunch of styles that I hadn't, like I said, I loved, but I just hadn't played. And being in, being in that band and doing what we did, definitely helped make me a better guitar player because I learned all these different styles, and I learned a lot of different music that I just loved. Playing in Bad Karma and playing with you. So I hope we definitely continue to do it, and I'm looking forward to, working on some original music with you as well.
It's going to be great. And I appreciate the kind words, Ryan. I love you too, brother. I appreciate that. And, we've got a lot to look forward to. I think we're just kind of hitting our stride with some of this original stuff. And I feel like I'm in one of the most creative periods of my life as far as music has been concerned. So I'm excited to see what the future holds. And I definitely have us in mind for what we're going to be doing in the future. So here's what we're going to do. We'll wrap up this segment and listen to everyone who's watching here live at Chance's house, season 1. It's the interview with Ryan Cassidy. I'm sure we'll see Ryan back on a future episode with some more stuff. But Ryan, right now, the final word is yours. What do you want to say? Go.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Hit him with a high, man.
Hit him with the hind. Hit him with the hind.
I'm going to say I love you, man. Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait till I see you in person, hopefully soon,
All right, brother. Love you too, man. I appreciate you being on. And so for everyone who's watching here, like I said, this is my good friend, Ryan Cassidy. Check out his band, Delta Rage. You can find them on Reverb Nation right now. They got a lot of original stuff, new stuff coming out. They just played a show, this last weekend. It was an outdoor thing, so they were all safe and COVID-free. But, they're out there making things happen just like I am. And we're trying to bring our musical communities back to life as much as we possibly can, no matter what the medium is. And we know that hopefully when this thing goes away, we'll be getting back out there again. In the meantime, I'll be getting on. We're going to show a little clip. And I've got a little music to play for you from Delta Rage right after this. And then after that, I'll be playing tonight for you live at Chance's house, season 1. Thank you, guys. We'll see you. Ryan, peace.
Thank you, brother. It was awesome. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
This free